Welcome back for Chapter 2, Relaxation and Concentration. All right, let's get down to it. Dharana Darshan, Chapter 2, Relaxation and Concentration. Concentration is an important means of dealing with mental stress. Most of us never relax properly in our life. In sleep, we do not relax. Drinking does not provide relaxation. Pleasant experiences do not provide relaxation. It is the nature of the mind always to be dissipated and distracted, to run in 100 directions without conscious knowledge. We may think that we are concentrated at this moment, but we are not. There are subtle experiences which are constantly bombarding the mind at the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious levels, most of which we have no understanding of. We are never aware that this subterranean activity is happening. While we are aware of one thing, the input of the other senses is constantly being received, processed, and filtered by the brain and the mind. So where is concentration? When so many things are happening simultaneously within our personality, how can there be concentration or relaxation? There cannot be. Therefore, yoga has evolved a way to bring about total mental relaxation through a process of mental discipline. In the Raja Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, this is described as Atha Yoga Anushasanam, which means that yoga is a form of control over the subtle faculties, experiences, and expressions of the mind. Here, the word anu means the most subtle aspect of the personality, and shasan means to govern over, to control. Therefore, this sutra, Atha Yoga Anushasanam, defines the entire yogic process, which is a system of controlling the subtle experiences which are beyond the range of awareness. We may be thinking right now, but we are not aware of those thoughts. At this moment, in the deeper mind, many emotions and desires are coming up, but we are not aware of them. How do we relax this state of mind? The formula is very simple. Focus your mind on one point. There has to be intensity of concentration. There has to be a merger of the awareness with an object of concentration. When the awareness is merged with the object, the majority of the mental faculties are pinpointed at one center. So, there is a greater relaxation because all the faculties are working in one direction. Training the mind. Consciously, subconsciously, and unconsciously, we are doing 1,000 things at any given moment. The sensory faculty, which is most active in one situation, is making us aware of that experience. For example, if it is very hot in the room and you begin to sweat heavily, then your total attention will be drawn to the feeling of heat, despite your best efforts to concentrate on what you're doing. There will not be much awareness of or attention on anything else. Take another example. Suddenly you remember that you forgot to lock your house. Then, despite your best efforts to be attentive to what you are actually doing, 80% of your awareness will be at the door of your house. So the faculty which is predominant at any given time influences the state of our awareness. In this way, the mind blocks off many other areas in which our awareness could be extended. In yoga, by focusing all the faculties at one point, we concentrate and relax the mind. Instead of 100 things happening simultaneously, perhaps 10 things will happen and 90% of our faculties will be at one point. This is the concept of dharana, the aspect of mental training in yoga. The concept of dharana is not just to stop the thoughts, but to bring your attention, your awareness, to a stage where most of the faculties of the body and mind are functioning together. Therefore, in dharana, there is greater relaxation, greater mental power, greater concentration. This is the way to train the mind. With this mental training, we become objectively aware of our surroundings and our interactions with our surroundings. With greater awareness, we are able to control the distressing negative traits of our personality, the negative thoughts and emotions, the feeling of anger, anxiety, frustration, depression, and so forth. Essentially, we have the potential to fully develop and express all the faculties of our command together, and this is the aim of Dharana. When this state has been achieved, then the meditative experience will automatically dawn as the mind becomes relaxed, harmonious, and receptive to a broader dimension of consciousness. Transformation of consciousness. According to yoga, the faculties of body and mind are subject to the influences of prana and chitta. Prana Shakti is the vital energy controlling the physical sensory body. Chitta Shakti is the mental energy controlling the consciousness, the mind. In order to understand prana and chitta, and to further clarify our concept of mental training, we must also understand one more point. Pure transcendental or divine consciousness resides at the level which is beyond elemental consciousness. It's a very important line. Let me repeat it. Pure transcendental or divine consciousness resides at the level which is beyond elemental consciousness. Elemental consciousness means awareness or consciousness of earth, water, fire, air, ether, and mind. These are the 6 basic elements of which our being is composed. In Kundalini Yoga, pure consciousness is represented in our personality as the experience of Sahasrara chakra, where there is no duality, no distinction between object and subject. However, when this pure energy, pure awareness, decides to manifest in the world of the senses and objects, it has to go through a process of transformation. This pure awareness is like the high voltage energy coming directly from a power generator, which cannot be carried by the small electrical wires that simply conduct 220 volts for household purposes. This high voltage energy must be conducted through different transformers in order to step it down. These transformers, which reduce the voltage of energy in our psychic body, are 6 in number. They are known as the chakras, or psychic centers. When we begin to manifest absolute consciousness and energy on the material plane from pure consciousness, the process of transformation first goes to the mental level, creation of mind. The mental force, located at the Ajna chakra in the midbrain, is the first indriya, or sensory organ, through which we can perceive the world in any color or form we wish. The second stage of transformation is Akasha Tattva, the ether element, which is slightly denser than mind. It is perceived through the sense of sound. Here, the energy is stepped down by Vishuddhi chakra, located in the throat. The third stage of transformation is the Vayu Tattva, the air element, which is denser than ether and perceived by touch. Here the energy is stepped down by the Anahata chakra, located at the heart. The fourth stage is Agni Tattva, the fire element, which is denser than air. It is perceived by sight. Here the energy is stepped down by the Manipura chakra, located at the navel. The fifth stage of transformation is Apas Tattva, the water element, which is denser than fire. It is perceived by taste. Here the energy is stepped down by Swadhisthana chakra, which is located at the pubis. The last dimension of transformation is Prithvi Tattva, the earth element, which is the densest element. It is perceived by smell. Here, the dormant Kundalini or spiritual energy force resides in Muladhara chakra at the perineum. Developing a broader vision. This has been the growth or evolution of pure energy and transcendental consciousness from the sublime to the ridiculous. We are now functioning almost entirely at the level of matter. The senses express their faculties at this level. Even the mind, which is at the next level down from transcendental consciousness, expresses itself at the level of matter. There is stagnation of the faculties of this level. This stagnation does not have to be defined. We are all living examples of stagnation of consciousness and energy. We cannot see beyond our own limited vision. In order to evolve this vision from the level of matter into the higher realms of perception, we must go through the process of mental training, of concentration, and meditation. The science of meditation transcends the totality of human experience. The aim of meditation is to raise the awareness to such a state or dimension where one is no longer experiencing the motion of consciousness and energy. It has been described in the Upanishads as a conscious state where the sun does not shine, the moon does not give light, the fire does not burn, and once a person reaches that stage, he does not return. I just want to say that sounds a whole lot exactly like a line Dion Fortune talked about in describing Kether. This is sounding a whole lot like mystical Kabbalah, but let's continue. Surya, the sun, represents the pranic energy. Chandra, the moon, represents the mental energy. Surya is the energy which governs the world of matter. Chandra governs the subtle dimension of thought and mind. Agni, or fire, represents the vitality of prana shakti and chitta shakti, the motion of prana shakti or chitta shakti in the gross and the subtle world. Let me read that line again. Agni, or fire, represents the vitality of prana shakti and chitta shakti, the motion of prana, chitta, and chitta shakti in the gross and subtle world. Through the process of dharana, we reach a point where there is total cessation of movement, where everything just stops, where there is no activity. In this state of inactivity, there is a drowning of human perception. In the state of activity, experiences happen very fast. We sit in the train and the train moves. We look out the window and see the scenery flashing by. Mountains, fields, trees, rivers, villages, towns, and cities pass by at great speed. However, when the train stops and we look out the window, then we can see the static world and there is a greater or broader vision. It is this greater vision of life which is supposed to be the achievement we will all aspire for in yoga and meditation. At the ground level, our vision is very limited. When we go to the first floor, our vision broadens a little bit. When we go to the second floor, we see a greater view. If we go to the third floor, there is greater vision. The higher up we go, the broader the vision becomes. If we go to the topmost floor of our building, which in our physical body is the seventh floor, then we will have a very broad vision of the world and of ourselves. When we have this vision, then we attain satya, absolute truth. We become one with reality. Generally, there are two experiences of life. One is related to the appearance and the other to reality. We are more aware of the appearance and less aware of reality. Our vision has to change. We have to become more aware of reality and less aware of the appearance. That is the direction which the practices of dharana take. At the same time, there is relaxation, concentration, non-attachment, and attainment. When we are able to develop a concentrated mind, we will feel, realize, and understand that life is like a flower and every unfoldment is beautiful. Thanks, Max. These are the words of Param Ahamsa Satyananda, and it is this vision which we must develop. Wow, a lot of great stuff in that chapter. All right, let's go on to chapter 3.